Welcome to the What's Important Now broadcast. In America today, we are witnessing a cultural shift. This is the show devoted to the battle for the soul of our country. Join our host, Tom Sears, as he explains the issues of our day and join the fight to bring values and morality back. Let's join Tom now as he shares what's important now.
And welcome inside of this week's edition of What's Important Now. I'm Tom Sears. Thanks for being here with us. And ladies and gentlemen, the battle is on, no doubt about it. If you ever believe there was a struggle for morality and values in this country, it is happening right now. The question is, are you joining the fight? Are you standing for what's right in this country? Are you standing up for morals and values? I can't answer that question for you. I can only ask the question and answer it for myself. You can find us online at what'simportantnowradio.com. Find us on Facebook. Follow us on the Spreaker app, iTunes. We are out there. Our mailing address is 8901 Good Hope Pike, Lost Creek, West Virginia, 26385. And if you would like to send us an email, you can do so by writing to what'simportantnowradio@gmail.com. Now, when I say the battle is on, boy, that's no joke whatsoever. This past week, the Supreme Court of the United States of America have decided not to hear a case that involves a Christian teenager who was forced, ladies and gentlemen, forced to write an Islamic conversion prayer. According to FoxNews.com, one of the religious liberty cases the Supreme Court justices won't be hearing this term is the issue of Maryland high school student Kaylee Wood, who refused to take part in a school assignment to write the Islamic conversion prayer that states, quote, "There is no God but Allah," end of quote. Now, this teenager believed that this directly contradicted her Christian faith, and the High Court denied a petition filed on behalf of the 11th grader, angering one conservative commentator who saw it as caving in to the indoctrination schools are promoting and college campuses are promoting. The news article goes on to have a quote from the Reverend Mario Alex Petrello, who said, "This is not just a violation of the First Amendment, but an ongoing, albeit subtle, diffusion of Islam in our Western society." Richard Thompson, who's president and chief counsel of Thomas More Law Center, which filed the petition on behalf of Woods, said the schools are promoting Islam over Christianity or any other religion and they now have a double standard, which we think is a violation of the Establishment Clause. He went on to say that under the pretext of teaching history or social studies, public schools across America are promoting the religion of Islam in ways that would never be tolerated for Christianity or any other religion. And I want to go ahead and let me finish up with this, and then I want to tie in a couple things. The article goes on to say she not only received an F in the class, but then she was forced to watch a pro-Islamic PowerPoint presentation that actually denigrated her religion and basically said that Christians are not as faithful as Muslims. Okay. I want you to, for a moment, to imagine with me that happened in a public school in America as it relates to Christianity. Now, just follow me down this road for a second, if you would. I want you to imagine that a teacher forced their class to write a prayer of salvation that is, in many ways, repeated throughout the nation on Sundays and other days of the week inviting people to give their hearts and their lives to Jesus. Now, imagine for a moment that happened. And imagine that in that class is someone who is an Islamic teenager. They do not believe in Christianity. And they refuse. And the teacher says, well, you're going to do it or get an F. And the Islamic teenager says, well, then I'll get an F. And then the teacher forces that Islamic teenager to watch a pro-Christian PowerPoint that bashes Islam. Now imagine that for a moment. I would venture to say that there would be protests and riots happening around the nation. It would be on national news. But ladies and gentlemen, that did not happen. And it did not happen because society today has now traded. We've exchanged. That which we were founded upon to anything goes but what we were founded on. Did you hear that? We have exchanged what we were founded on for anything goes but what we were founded on. We were founded upon Christianity in this country, but Christianity has no place in the public arena. And a young teenage girl who was holding to her faith said, I'm not doing this. I am not going to proclaim that there is no God but Allah. I refuse to do that. She was forced to then watch a PowerPoint that bashed Christianity, and this is okay somehow. There's nothing wrong with this picture. There's no public outrage. There's no one calling for this teacher's resignation. Let me tell you what would happen to a teacher who forced Christianity on someone. Well, you already know what would happen, don't you? They would be in the newspapers. They would be brought before their district. They would be brought before their local boards of education, and they're likely going to be terminated. Wow, how things have changed since the New England Primer. You say, what in the world is that? Well, that was the book that was in the public school systems for many, many years that taught young students how to read, how to learn their alphabet. And guess what was in there? For every letter of the alphabet, a scripture. Boy, things have changed since 1962, 1963, when we booted prayer out. And we said, the public school is not the place for faith. Well, apparently that's not true. Apparently, force-feeding Islam to our young students is perfectly okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are a part of the population that sees something wrong with that, well, something's wrong with you. You have a mental illness. You have a serious problem. You are not fit for society. And above all, you're not fit to be an American. Well, I guess that's my category, because I definitely see something wrong with it. And not only that, will use my God-given voice to oppose it and stand up against it. What is wrong with us? You know, in America today, we only want to call upon the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob when trouble comes. Then we want to ask everyone to pray. But if you want to pray before trouble comes, well, you're in trouble. I do not understand this logic that we are living with in this country anymore. All I know is that we are void of values. We are void of morals. And the highest court in the land is refusing to hear the case of a teenage girl who was forced to watch a PowerPoint because she refused to write a paper that stated, quote, "There is no God but Allah." The very foundations of Christianity, Jehovah said, "I am God, and you will have no other gods before me." I read that somewhere. Was that a part of the 10 Commandments? Was that a part of that old tablet we used to allow in schools? I believe maybe that it was. Nowhere to be found anymore. And this is becoming a problem. Because the Supreme Court, who, by the way, in the 60s was very, very open to hearing cases that would tear Christianity down and kick Bibles and prayer out, they don't want a part of these cases anymore. In early October of this year, October 7, 2019, the Bluefield Daily Telegraph reported a case involving the now discontinued Mercer County School System's Bible in the Schools program will not be heard by the U.S. Supreme Court. The Supreme Court on Monday declined to hear an appeal of a decision made last year in the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals in Richmond, Virginia. That decision overturned a dismissal of a lawsuit filed by the Wisconsin-based Freedom from Religion Foundation in 2017 seeking to end the Bible in the Schools program in Mercer County schools. The lawsuit included Elizabeth Dill, a parent of a child she removed from the school system to avoid possible ostracism by other students when her child would not take the optional Bible course, which had been offered in Mercer County schools for 75 years. Dill sought damages related to the program. The lawsuit included this Bible-based program. And by the way, the school system ended that program, which was privately funded, before the 2017-2018 school year. She filed an appeal before the Fourth Circuit Court, and on and on and on and on. Now, here's the issue with that. Because the U.S. Supreme Court refuses to hear these cases, lower courts then get to decide policy. And I say policy because we live in a nation where we're supposed to have checks and balances, a representative government that represents the people and the will of the people. Benjamin Franklin said that we were a nation not, to be controlled by government, but rather of the people, for the people, by the people. These lower courts get to decide. Now, the judicial branch of the government is supposed to actually interpret laws, but unfortunately, a lot of lower courts and many cases with the Supreme Court instead have actually established laws or created laws, which would be a part of the legislative process. And so, in this case, when they refuse to hear, they refuse to validate a program that is privately funded and has been a part of the school system for 75 years. Now, I want you to notice here, one parent, one child removed a program that had been established for 75 years. One parent, one child. The lawsuit that she filed alleged the Bible in Schools program was unconstitutional because it endorsed one religion, and it improperly entangled public schools in religious affairs and violates personal consciences of non-religious and non-Christian parents and students. Well, if you're non-religious, what is actually violating your conscience? I mean, it's silliness, right? I mean, religion is stupid. Faith is stupid. And so it contended that the Bible in Schools program, which was taught in 15 elementary schools, 3 middle schools, they argued that it was basically Sunday school classes, which they say are illegal. Now, they can opt out of it. It was a voluntary program they could opt out of. They didn't have to take it. She said, well, my student, because we opted not to take it, they were going to be ostracized. Ladies and gentlemen, maybe this doesn't bother you. Maybe it does bother you. It really bothers me. And I want you to think of it this way. It's okay to be, the society today is okay with us being bothered. That's obvious. I mean, think about just where we have evolved over the last 20 years. Just the last 20 years. I can remember being on this program when it first started all the way back in 2003 and sending out a warning of where we were headed and the things that we would see. And I'm going to be honest with you. They have arrived at our doorstep far sooner than I ever imagined. I never would have believed that there would be such a decline and a decay in morality and values in this country so quickly. But that's where we are. This rapid, excessive journey has brought us here. Now think about it. It's okay for Islam now. By the way, Islam is not even conducive. The beliefs of Islam are counter to the values that this country was founded on. And I'm not even talking about Christianity, which is difficult to separate the two because our country was founded on Christianity. But I'm talking about the way that we govern. You think about Sharia law. That's what Islam teaches. Sharia law. It's not even conducive with the way we're going as a government. And we welcome it. And you know why we welcome it? Because we don't want to offend anyone. I mean, why would we? What is it? Anyone? We don't want to offend anyone? Well, the Christians are okay. They're so meek. They're so kind. They're so laid back. We don't have to worry about them. But you know, when we read about the fruit of the Spirit in the book of Galatians, and meekness being one of them, meekness has never been weakness. You know, I believe that we are called to stand up for what we believe. It's like the song that we sang when we was little. You know, that song that said, "This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine." We're not shining any lights. We hiding it under a bushel. And then we want to be outraged. Is our outrage pretense? Is it a facade? Is it fake? Is our outrage not even really genuine? Because I want you to think about that for a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Sure, we're aggravated with it. We're frustrated with it. we shake our head and we say, wow, that's awful that a teenage girl had to go through that. But really, it's not really at our doorstep. It really didn't affect me. I still get to go to my church and sit in my comfortable seat on Sundays. It's all good. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to get this. I need you to understand this. While we're sitting back, living life, calling ourselves the cream of the crop, and living life that way, morals and values are eroding because we're not concerned anymore. And I fear and am confident this will be the case. Let me say this publicly. Very, very confident that this will in fact be the case. We're going to wake up one day and realize all that we've lost. And when it's gone, it's likely not coming back. Our founding fathers warned us that if we began to remove morality, and then they further explained that morality's best teacher was the Bible, we have been warned that the Constitution itself, it can only be upheld by a moral and, quote, virtuous people. Virtue, morality, values, that's what we're chasing out. Listen, there's a lot of people out there that have given Christianity a really bad name. They have portrayed something, done things. I get it. But the teachings of Jesus Christ are those that provide for a good society. I mean, think about it. Why are we arguing about things like love your neighbor more than you love yourself? Nope, we don't want that. Think about how we are to put others above. The Bible teaches things like if you find someone in need, and if you have a way of meeting that need, you meet it. We are taught to forgive our enemies. Not only forgive, but to bless. That sounds like an awful message. Horrendous. And that's the message we want kicked out. But we're okay with allowing a message that actually declares war on people who do not believe what they believe. And we're okay with it. And then we have others who call themselves Christians, and their answer is to act in violence. That's not what Jesus taught. Jesus taught if someone slaps you on your cheek, give them the other cheek. Ladies and gentlemen, the message of Christ is a message that produces life. He said, I came to give you life, and that life I want to give to you more abundantly. It's a good message. It's something that we should want all of our children learning about. It's something that we should want all people to learn about. And I'm going to say something, and this is going to be offensive for some people. Not that anything I haven't said previously is not going to offend someone. Someone's always going to be offended. I can't control that. But our churches have become more of a social function. Our churches have become more of a club, an inclusive, or I should say exclusive, opportunity to get your church on. And I believe that what really is needed now more than ever are for those of us who call ourselves Christians to begin to live in a way that is so contrary to the direction of this life and this culture that people stand back and go, wow, they are different. Listen, When someone does you wrong, you have a choice. You have a real choice. You can get them back, or you can follow the teachings of the Bible, what Jesus taught us. Forgive and bless. I'm not perfect at this, and I don't want anyone listening to think that I am. But I do, with everything in me, try to make it a guiding principle of my life. We don't have rights to act in a way that the world calls normal. I want you to just think about the protests and the riots and all the things that have happened or are happening around our country, and I want you to really process and think about something. I watched a couple of weeks ago, President Trump had a rally, and the people outside were so vulgar and crude. And then I'm expected to be a part of that crowd. That's a negative. Not happening. Not at all. But those are normal people anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, do you hear me? That's normal. It's normal because you can unite under one common theme, hate the president. And if you can hate the president, you can join my club. I don't care if you throw rocks through windows or set cars on fire. I don't care if you spit in people's faces or dump milkshakes on teenagers' heads. That's normal. Welcome. But what is not normal? Just like the moment when Jesus sat down and began to teach, to bless those who persecute you, to love the Lord your God with all of your heart, with all of your mind, with all of your strength, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. And if someone curses you or despitefully uses you, pray for them and bless them. That's what's going to turn the world around. You want to put Jesus on display? You want to make a difference in today's society? You want to bring values and morality back? Then allow the teachings of Christ to live and reign in your life and in your heart. And we'll see him like we've never saw him before. Ladies and gentlemen, I plead with you. If you're listening to me and call yourself a Christian, the time is now. Allow him to do the work that he has been longing to do in you for a very long time. Allow it to happen because we have the answer. But if we don't promote the answer, if we don't go out there carrying the banner of Jesus Christ, then it's pointless. Because I don't care if you're going to church. I had a history teacher who used to say, just because you're in a garage doesn't make you a car. You've been listening to What's Important Now. I want to thank you for being a part of our program. And yes, everything I said, I do believe. I do believe Jesus is the answer, and I believe it's time for us to step up, and I do believe it's time for us to begin that journey of intimacy with him like we've never had before. You can find us online at what'simportantnowradio.com. Our email address, what'simportantnowradio@gmail.com. And, of course, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spreaker, Podpoint. We're out there. Share it. Invite other listeners. Join the fight. Our mailing address is 8901 Good Hope Pike, Lost Creek, West Virginia, 26385. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. God bless you. May he keep you. May everything you put your hands to prosper. But even as the word of God says, may you be in health and prosper, even as your soul prospers. God bless you. Take care. This has been What's Important Now. God bless.
because I have overcome. Come to me.